Good morning, good morning. It's your boy ARP, and we back here with the Sorry is True podcast. I want to give a big shout out, as always, to all the members of the channel. Shout out to the chat, checks and balances. Shout out to all the subscribers, man. Appreciate y'all. It's early. We getting the day rolling. Hope everybody's up and at it. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all got grinds to get to. You know what I mean? If you tuning in or if you're going to be jumping on this stream while we riding and we rocking out, keep moving. Throw your Bluetooth earbuds in. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop on your way to the money, of course. You know what I'm saying? What's today? Today's Tuesday. Tuesday. So we're having a fresh start. It's early in the week. I hope everybody's doing good. Good morning to everybody in the chat. I see my mods and everybody starting to come into the building and members coming into the building. Feeling good, man. We're getting a good start. I feel like I was all over the place this past weekend, but I still was well rested Sunday night, it feels like. So I'm having a real fast jump to this week. Feeling real energized, feeling good. Knock on wood. We want to keep up that energy. I mean, I don't want to get to the midweek and have one of those droughts where it's like, because I be busy, 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 busy. I know I be here riding with y'all, rocking out. I got my own life going on. I got to get to a bag just like everybody else. But yeah, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. So let's keep the week rolling. I'm going to hang out for a minute here. So as you can see, I'm not jumping straight into the titles or anything like that. I'm going to hang out. I forgot to tell y'all on my last stream too. I wanted to talk about this past Friday when I caught the new Kevin Hart special, right? So I caught some last minute tickets. I went to the show Friday night and we caught the tickets like Wednesday or something like that. And I'm surprised. At first, I was worried. Like, is the show selling? This is Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is a machine, because I was able to get tickets for the very, very like the first row, the right in front. Like, I mean, you can reach out damn near and touch the stage, and reach my arm over the security guard and touch the stage. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to get that close on them. Went 2 days before the joint, but it was packed. It was packed out in there. um, it was bugged out even getting to the show, son. So we get to the light. That's like I'm talking about on the same block as the venue. We're just in the car chilling, whatever, music playing, whatever. And I hear the loudest bark. I'm just like, oh. So I'm looking around. Hold on. I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat. I was like, hold on. Don't hit the gas. Don't hit the gas. Hold on. Look around. See, I don't want to drive into no crossfire, nothing like that. See like 2 or 3 people run out from a parking garage, joints in their hand, running light speed. I'm like, wait, don't drive. Hold on. I don't want to drive into that. Hold on. And it was wild because, you know, based on where you live, it do be like the wild, wild west. You just don't know. And when you look around, I looked at probably at least 8 people that had nothing to do with nothing, wasn't involved, that just all started to draw. Everybody just started to draw to protect themselves. Like even inside the car, it was just everybody starts to draw because they hear the bark, they see people running with joints and everything, and everybody just like, you know what I mean? Like start to get into self-defense, protect yourself mode. And it's just like that old concept. I remember I was at a resort one time, and it's probably like one of the first times I ever went jet skiing. And I asked the instructor, I said, yo, where are the sharks? Because I got a fear of sharks. Like, that's just me. I don't like animals where you can't read, whether they're hungry, whether they're happy, whether they're upset. I don't like animals like that. Like a shark is always the same look, same vibe, same, I don't try. And I'm scared of water animals anyway, because you're in their territory. I just got a thing with fucking sharks. But anyway, so I asked the instructor, I'm like, yo, where's the sharks at? As if I want to avoid them while I'm on the jet skis, right? And he goes, this is the sea. They're everywhere. I was just like, I get it. Yeah, that was a stupid question. And it's just like certain cities. Yo, where's the guns? Everywhere. You walk past them, every other person that you walk past, you just don't know. You know what I mean? Like in certain carry states and whatnot, it just is what it is. But all right, so yeah, that cleared up, and I felt comfortable enough, like, all right, let's drive over here. Let's make sure we get a parking garage that's close to the venue. It's too much going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Starting the energy off wrong. But no, we get inside. It's my first time in a venue too. It's like Tabernacle, a place that I believe used to be a church that was turned into a venue. Same as Believe Music Hall for y'all battle rap heads that went to Max Out. Same thing, like a church turned into a large ass venue. But dope spot, man. We had the VIP seating and everything, which gave us access to like this upper room where they had its own bar, had drinks, and you could order food from in there, couches to sit on, everything till the show starts. The opening acts was the Plastic Cup Boys. I think the best one was the light skin one. Is that Naeem or whatever? He did his thing. I ain't gonna lie. Like Naeem, he had a real good set, probably like a 20-minute set. He had us laughing from beginning to end when he came out and when he exited. So I give it to him. So the Plastic Cup Boys are still doing their thing, but Kevin Hart, man. So I saw Kevin Hart a couple months ago as well. He opened up. It's crazy to say that, as big as he is, but he opened up for the Chappelle special, right? Um, on that show, I saw Ti, Ashy Larry, Kevin Hart, and somebody else opened up for Chappelle. Crazy show. I only bought the tickets for Chappelle, and then you get all of that. You get Kevin Hart, and he did some new material then. And I was just like, yo, it's good to see that Kevin Hart is back on his game, right? This one right here, when you look at that special where he was like in the living room set or whatever, the fire behind him and everything, we just like, yo, Kevin Hart don't got it no more. He fell off. He is fully rebounded. This shit right here, I hope he doesn't change a lot of his material by the time he shoots it for TV or for the special, because that's how comedians do it. They go on tour with their new material and they kind of like work out the kinks. They get their performances down pat. They see what jokes land and what jokes don't land. Those are the shows where they're going to be taking your phones and making sure that there's no recording that's happening, nothing like that. I still snuck my phone in. You know what I'm saying? I noticed that the guys that was on my line or whatever, I was like, nah, I left mine in the car. He didn't even check me. I'm keeping my phone. But yo, it was really a crazy set, laughing from beginning to end. He had that segment about the wildlife and being in the safari with the gorillas. He did that one again. I don't think he's ever did that one in a special, so that's going to be new to a lot of people. The name of it is Acting My Age, and he does a lot of stuff about getting older. Like he goes through this whole joke about him injuring himself. Remember when he had the foot race and he was in a wheelchair for a couple weeks or whatever? He has a whole joint about that was hilarious. And he's got a hilarious one about you know, hitting his woman, you know what I'm saying, at his age now. So now starting to play around with pills and whatnot, enhancement drugs and shit. Talk about like the gas station shits versus like he didn't want to be the type of person that would ever go to a doctor and ask for a dick prescription or some shit like that. But this shit was hilarious. He's like breaking down like how you talk shit to a woman when you know you got your A game on you. You know what I'm saying? Yo, he killed the whole shit. So yeah, it's the name of it. He says is Acting My Age, and he totally rebounded. I think this is one of his best specials. He's never going to get back to a Grown Little Man, of course, right? That's his best shit to me. That's a classic, but he really rebounded. I can't wait until that comes out. Did his thing, but yeah, that was my past Friday. I meant to mention that with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Loop y'all in on that. Keep an eye out for that. If he's coming to your local city, check it out. And when it drops, if you don't catch him live, tune in, whether it's on Netflix or wherever it goes, tune in. He killed that shit. All right. Checks and balances. Let's jump into some of the stuff that's in the title. Let's start with Stephen A. Smith gets checked for snitching. This isn't really just a sports topic to me. This is more so corporate structures and certain figures in these areas. It takes interest to me because I follow people that are in positions of power and gatekeepers. And Stephen A is a monster in his field. I think he is the biggest guy in that sports media field. His contracts, his draw power, his ratings, his longevity, his ability to say yes and no on other people's careers. Shit, look at Max Kellerman, right? He is, I think, the most powerful person in his field. But over time, and I'm gonna, you know what, let's bring this up here now. We're gonna play it, but before we play it, over time, Stephen A. Smith has had a reputation with a lot of people for cooning. Okay. He has wild statements like, I wake up every morning and the first thing on my mind is how to make my bosses more money. Weird statement, real weird thought, kind of a weird philosophy of how to wake up and start your day. But you know, he's done a lot of stuff over the years that bring his character into question on some cooning shit. And let's call a spade a spade. Sorry, it's true. What people really are talking about when they say that, they're talking about a black man that continuously downplays himself for his white bosses or for his superiors or for his white owners, so to speak, right? But happily does it. When I'm talking about like, yo, yes, master, I got you. Fuck all these. Somebody that's not willing to cross or to set certain boundaries because he wants to please his higher ups, right? And that's where the cooning labels always come in for people. And him being a black man, I know he's taken a lot of stances over the years as well for black culture and situations that affect the black community. And I do want to also say this. There's things that Stephen A. Smith has done that made me say, you know, I have a lot of respect for the man. Like even Shannon Sharp. You know, when he broke down a story about how Shannon Sharp got to his show, he said right after the Skip thing, he grabbed him and said, yo, come with me, I got you. Right now, of course, let's play devil's advocate. Let's be objective. That could have just been, I see the power of Shannon Sharp. I'm able to see how people really can affect these ratings and people that are real good at their jobs. And you know, I grabbed him because I saw he was falling out with Skip. It could have also been a shot at Skip because you know him and Skip don't get along anymore. So let me take this guy that don't work out with you no more. And he also said that when Shannon Sharp and Skip had that blow up about Shannon Sharp and when Skip said something to the effect of they was arguing over Tom Brady. He was like, "You're not half the player Tom Brady was." He was like, "You're gonna call me out over a point, whatever. You're gonna call my career into question, and I'm a whole all this type of stuff." He says Stephen A. Smith said he called them at that show at that time and said, "Yo, I know Skip, you guys are gonna have an issue. When you guys do, right?" So he could have been planting the seeds. I'm just playing devil's advocate, but I still thought there was a lot of respect in him grabbing Shannon Sharp because I think Shannon Sharp should be on TV. I like the way he carries himself. I feel like he's been holding it down for many years. And now you see he's having his biggest year ever, especially with his podcast. It's could be the biggest podcast, if not one of the biggest podcasts, the Club Shay Shay, one of the biggest moments of 2024, the Cat Williams interview. So Shannon Sharp being with Stephen A. Smith obviously was a good move, right? Brings a good amount of viewership and a good personality, sports personality on the show. But man, sometimes I personally just got to go with my own gut feeling because I do see the movements in Stephen A. over the years. I do feel like he goes more on that cooning side. And I think that it's also just a situation where people make those decisions to move a certain way. And unfortunately, in certain companies and certain power structures, you have to move like that to move up. You have to get in line to move up. You have to make certain sacrifices to move up. It just is what it is. And he may have made all the right sacrifices for his own integrity, his own personality, the way he comes across and carries it for his higher ups, people above him. He may have made all the right sacrifices and right decisions and been the right type of person to be number one in that field. But from the outside looking in, people continue to call him out for it. So this is the recent one, right, that he did. And it's funny, I put snitching. I'm going to get into a snitching topic right after this. All right. We're going to hang out for a little bit. We're going to get right into a snitching topic. But let me even switch the screen. All right, let me play this. So everybody knows the playoffs is going down right now. What is it? Game 2, game 3. Westbrook gets ejected from the game. This is why he almost got ejected. Let's play this first. We got to set the premise.
The third straight. Irving launches a three. Washington offensive rebound. Doncic foul by Westbrook. Doncic.
Hard foul from Westbrook. You know, swung around. You know, obvious call. It's the playoffs.
Has something to say.
He pushes Westbrook pushes Luka. Little forearm joint to the chest. Nothing crazy. Even Luka doesn't respond too crazy.
Westbrook pushes him.
All right. Westbrook catches a little jab in the back. He turns and he does a little push jab, not a punch, like a push jab. Who's that?
Now Westbrook pushes Washington
to Washington's chest. Okay. All right. Typical NBA scuffle, especially in the playoffs, right? Tippy. In the NBA, there's never a fight. It's always pushing. It's always shoving. Now there's a new meme. There's always this. You know what I'm saying? It's always just that, like a couple pushes or whatever. This is nothing crazy at all.
Westbrook upset.
All right, he's upset. Looked like he may have, shoved off the ref a little bit. You can get in trouble for that. All right.
Doncic upset. The officials
He's walking away, though. He's got
trying to
control of
separate
himself.
him.
He's got control of himself at this point.
Westbrook has had a couple of.
We don't even need to play anymore. We don't even need to play anymore. So this is where the Stephen A. Smith thing comes in. Stephen A. Smith goes out and calls the NBA office to ask why Westbrook was not suspended. You guys just saw what I just saw. First of all, this is the playoffs, right? We don't want to see key players getting suspended for light shit. It should be very, very significant and very serious if you're getting suspended in the playoffs. It's like boxing, right? Like, we don't want to see a mega championship fight get ruined by the judges. You don't want to see playoff games get ruined by the refs. So we're talking about Stephen A. Smith calling the NBA office and them they're pressing or asking why this person, first, right there alone, you're doing too much. Understand your media and your reporter, and you may be just trying to hunt down information for your own show. I want to know why he wasn't suspended. But those type of calls, being who you are, it comes off wild. It comes off wild. Not to mention, not only affecting how the playoffs could turn out, when you get suspended or ejected, all that, there's fines that could come into play. And, you could be suspended for several games, depending on how the office may want to analyze it. Stephen A. is doing too much. And he starts getting called out by his peers for it. Like, for example, when we see, Jalen Rose call him out, right? When we see this, let's maximize this. Let's read this. Jalen Rose says, since day one, I'm so grateful that I chose to put on for my culture, ride or die versus being a media coon. We know who he's talking about. A media coon. It doesn't pay as much. See, he's saying all the shit that I was saying. It doesn't pay as much or always get historic views, but living in and having my hometown on my driver's license is undefeated. Blessed. So it's wild that's the stuff that I was just talking about. To move up, you got to act a certain way. You got to make certain sacrifices. You might have to do some cooning. You might have to sacrifice your integrity. You might have to snitch a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is what Jalen Rose is pointing out. And you got I seen Steven Jack react. I see a lot of people reacting to this. And I even see Stephen A. Smith. He's coming under fire so much for it that he's starting to try to address it. And he's cleaning it up, saying, no, I'm just doing my job as media. There's always going to be that justification. I'm doing my job as media. But there always has to be a separate, well, I shouldn't say always. There should be a separation between doing your job and telling yourself, I'm not really fit for this type of action that could cause this type of result. Am I really looking to shed the light on Westbrook not being ejected when I have arguably the biggest voice in the field? If the answer to that is no, then don't make the call. Don't make the call. No matter whether you're doing your job or not, there still is elements of you're doing too much. Stephen A. Smith is still going to be ranked number one if he doesn't make that call. He's still going to be ranked number one if he still just comes on that show the next day and says, yo, Westbrook, he may have went too far, but and we all do it in media. I do it as a spokesperson for RBE plenty times where I may dumb things down to try to save somebody. I may talk around things to try to save somebody. I may leave something alone to try to save somebody, even though I could justify by saying it's my job to tell the fans what really happened. No, you make a decision to dance around it, to be politically correct, to not talk about it at all, or to withhold certain things. I could still be real while I don't sacrifice those type of things. I could still be real by cutting on the camera and say, yeah, I think Westbrook went too far. I don't think he needed to take that second jab or whatever. But I'm glad that he walked off or whatever. He's lucky he didn't get suspended. But it's all good. I'm looking forward to the next game. Westbrook, you got to get control of yourself, man. I've been rooting for you for years. I'm glad that you didn't change your career or recaptured your career of going to the Clippers. This is the type of stuff that Stephen A. Smith says about Westbrook. He's so proud of him. People were done off of Westbrook or whatever. Now he's one of the focal points of the Clippers being able to get to the point that they're at right now because he sacrificed himself. He's willing to come off the bench now. He's willing to have a reduced role. So you're saying all this beautiful stuff about him, right? I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right thing. People love Westbrook's intensity. Does that mean everything is right? No. Does that mean that everything that Westbrook did in this situation right here is right? No. But for you to, I think my gut is correct. Like the times where I'd be like, yo, Stephen A. Smith, I respect him, man. Like, I'm glad he did this. Dope that he did this or said this or addressed that. And then you see I feel like the real him come out. I feel like Stephen A. he does a lot of the cooning stuff. He just does too much of the cooning stuff. Hold on, what's this right here? Okay. All right, I'm gonna check in the chat too. I see a message. I just want to make sure that my connection is still good. I see that we still live and we running. But yo, tell me if my connection is still good. Are we still good? Are we still good? I see a little message that popped up. I want to make sure that everything's good still in the stream. And I'm still checking the chat. And I see everybody weighing in with their opinions on the Stephen A. shit. Connection is fire. We good. Okay, I appreciate y'all. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm staying with my gut. I'm staying with my gut, man. He does too much. And I get it. I have the read on him at this point. I just feel like he's great at what he does. He's one of the best ever at what he does. He has moments and things that he's done over his career. I'm pretty sure he's helped a lot of people out. I'm pretty sure that he's done a lot of right and given a lot back. I'm sure of that. But for him to get to that position, I see the way that he's carried it and he shows it in shit like this. And you can't turn around when everybody's trying to show you, especially sorry, it's true, especially as a black man to another black man. You know what I'm saying? You to Westbrook, like within a white corporate structure, the NBA. Let's call it. Let's be real, right? You do all this acting like you so pro-black at times when it's in your benefit, and for you to show that, it's his real character. It's his real character. I go to Stephen A. Smith for entertainment, and I'm staying with my gut. I feel like I know who he is. I feel like I know who he is, man. I feel like I know who the man is. And that's it. That's it. Let me stay on snitching real quick before I move on to the Kendrick shit. I want to say something about Kendrick, and I also want to say something about Drake's career and why I think some of this beef is going on with everybody in the industry versus Drake. What is this? A 20v1, nigga? I want to talk about a new angle that I have on that. All right. But the snitching thing. I'm gonna need somebody to hook me up with timestamps as we transition from point to point, man. Hook me up. Somebody drop in the comments, please, the timestamps for this live. Snitching. What annoys me time and time again, I see it evolving. You know how certain words over years just evolve, take on new forms, new meanings, right? Like hater. I was just saying this with Oskino in my interview with him the other day. Like, the word hater used to mean jealous. Now it could just mean you don't agree with me. I don't agree with you. I don't like what you did. And I'm calling you out for, oh, you a hater. How am I? I'm not a hater. I'm speaking truth, or I'm speaking my truth, or I'm expressing an opinion, or I disagree with you. Am I a hater because I disagree with you? The word hater evolved. And so is the word snitch. For me to not even be a street nigga, for me to be a pure 100% bona fide civilian, I'm probably not even supposed to care about this. I just come up around different codes, different ethics, and different types of people. So it still registers with me. And I still like, man, the evolution of some of this shit is crazy. And I'm seeing more and more people labeling a snitch based on if somebody goes to jail. I think that that's one of the craziest things ever. No disrespect. I've seen people like King Yella talk about that type of stuff. Y'all know King Yella. He's a YouTuber from Chirac, and he's been caught up in certain certain amount of the war between the BDs and the GDs and all that type of stuff. You know, he has Zops out there and whatnot. You know, some of the story of ex-rapper, now YouTuber. And I seen him say stuff like that when they was going at him for his interrogation. And one of his first, you know, I guess justifications was ain't nobody go to jail behind my interview that I did. And it's just like, not interview online, like interview with at the police station, right? And when people say that, it's just like a quick, like, that's it right there. The word snitch is evolving right in front of us. If you don't go, if somebody doesn't go to jail behind your statements, you're not a snitch. That's crazy how y'all are changing that shit. That's crazy. If I walk into a precinct right now, I walk up to the front desk and there's a regular beat walking police officer sitting there. And I say, yo, I need to talk to one of the detectives. So give me a second. Goes in the back. He grabs a detective. Detective comes out. I say, yo, what's going on? And I say, yo, I got some information for you. And he goes, all right, you know, take this walk with me. Come with me to my office. All right, he takes me to his office. We sit down and he's like, you know, talk to me. What you got for me? And I'm like, yeah, over in 92 Highland Boulevard, you know, Ray be out there. He starts a shift at 8 o'clock selling dime bags for the next 4 hours. From 9 to the next 4 hours, he's out there. If you pull up on the scene, you could catch him, you know what I'm saying, sling into every fiend that walks up. And if you want, you could grab him there, and you could possibly even, you know, tail him back to his connect. Trust me, 92 Highland Boulevard, that's your man. That's how to grab him. Detective says, thank you for the information. Writes all the information down, time, name, Ray, address, where to get it, all that type of shit. Writes it all down, shakes your hand, says, thank you for the information. You walk out the fucking precinct. If that detective never even cares, like that detective, I'm not into dime bag sellers, or I'm looking for the Scarfaces of the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? If he never moves on that, if he never does nothing, if Ray never gets arrested at 92 Highland Boulevard, if he never fucking goes to jail behind those statements, is Ray not a snitch? That's what y'all are doing out there. That's what y'all are doing. Y'all are saying, no, he's not a snitch. He's not a snitch because nobody went to jail. The moment somebody says that shit, nobody went to jail behind my statements, remove yourself from that person. Remove yourself from that person. It's like one of the craziest justifications that we're starting to hear in recent years. And I just be like, yo, people is different. People is fucking different, yo. People is different. Anyway, I just thought about that real quick. Somebody said South Central Ray. Yo, you're taking it back to classic movies, yo. Nigga said Dime Bag Ray. I'm just making up the story just to make the point. Look at Bodie from The Wire, right? He wasn't even, if I remember correctly, Bodie wasn't even really snitching, but they saw him going to the precinct and come out, and they was like, yo, we think, and then he got killed for that, right? Like, nobody has to get arrested for you to be a snitch. Now, what Stephen A. Smith did isn't snitching because he's a civilian like me. He did some tattletale shit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, people calling Stephen A. Smith a snitch when a snitch and a tattletale to me is not the same thing. I think snitching is more so street shit. But I did a whole series of that on my channel. But people calling him a snitch because the word snitch works, and they're killing him for it, and it just is what it is. And it made me think about that transition of the word within itself, snitching at a street level. You know what I'm saying? Nigga said Bodie did snitch at the end. Did Bodie really snitch at the end? He did? Oh yeah, probably because he thought Marlo was a different type of breed. Like he thought Marlo wasn't following codes, and Marlo was killing people that didn't deserve to be killed, I think. Right. But point being, somebody doesn't have to get locked up for you to be a snitch. You know, Dark Low went through that. I fuck with Dark Low's music. You know, I've always been a Dark Low fan. I think he's serving time right now as we speak. But you know, the things that he was saying could get somebody locked up. So him, Dark Low, being a street nigga, they're gonna call you a snitch, regardless of whether somebody got locked up or not. And Dark Low, when he was arguing on live with Leak Morse, that's something that he said. And that's what made me be let down with Dark Low. Dark Low said, who went to jail? Who went? And I was just like, that's not a justification. That's not a justification. But Dark Low got kidney failure. They let him out. Oh, he's out now? Okay. I haven't heard any music from him. Hopefully he's doing well. I wish health on the man. You know what I mean? If he's out now, okay, that's cool. But I, my bad on the little slight frustration coming off of the snitching and the Stephen A. Smith shit. All right, let me get that out of here. Let's move on to Kendrick and stay with me through this because I got to talk about a little Drake angle as well. Kendrick still has not responded. They all lit the world on fire, and Kendrick is still off doing God knows what. I see people starting to say Kendrick is probably just waiting for his album to drop and then roll it out with that. And like, yo, might as well capitalize off of it. I get it. I don't know if Kendrick needs to capitalize on anything. He's already a huge artist. He's going to sell no matter what. And this is supposed to be the time for hip hop. This isn't supposed to be the time for record sales. But I ain't that man. I'm not his career. I'm not in his bank account. You know what I'm saying? All I could do is have an opinion from the outside looking in. I just feel like the world is on fire right now from battling, from going at each other rap wise, people getting in the booth. This is clean competition. This is what we asked for. This is what we want. He's still MIA. And it makes me ask the question, how does everybody rank when he does come back? Is everybody just going to forget that 2 months went by? Is everybody just going to forget that and just be like, yo, it don't matter? Kendrick, like he just finally dropped and we're just going to compare it. The time clock should fucking matter, B. It should matter. And it draws me into my Drake part where I'm like, all right, as we continue to try to figure out how all this is starting while we waiting, I said on a previous live, I said, I hope it's not over women, right? It would be corny as shit to see all these people having these mega titans that could be doing collaborations together, making millions of dollars together, doing tours together. Like even Drake and Rick Ross, for example, they've made hits. People having fallouts over. I said I would hate for all this shit to be over women, but a lot of times things happen over fucking women. Then when you start to look at the common denominator, Drake being there, when you look at like let's say him and Kanye's beef, nobody can convince me that a lot of that isn't involved over Kim Kardashian. Kanye West has talked about some of that shit publicly himself. He did songs acting like he fucked my wife, blah, 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 over a woman, right? Rick Ross says that he did it over the cease and desist with French Montana. Can't convince me that it wasn't Drake DMing his ex-girlfriend and then inviting him out to a show. That some of that wasn't involved. Can't convince me, right? Future, they're creating the ties with this girl, I'm hot in Tokyo because I'm better in Japan. I'm deeper in Japan, whatever. The Japan girl, they're creating ties there. Right? His beef with Common, Serena Williams. It just keeps going. And Drake just has this thing of like the Lil Wayne thing. When Lil Wayne's in jail, fucks his girlfriend. It just keeps going. It's just very, very fucking weird. Some of it seems slimy. I don't know what Drake is on, but it made me think of like a whole nother angle to say, is this part of Drake's actual success? It made me think about that. Like, imagine how genius it would be for Drake to know like his machine and him becoming number one is part of him dealing with or going after these women and creating this mystique around him, right? When it comes to women. One thing I didn't do, I should have did before I cut this live on checks and balances. If anybody got it, put it in the chat. I'll bring it up on the screen. Or if anybody finds it afterwards, put it in the comments. What's the man to woman ratio of ticket purchases for Drake's shows or album purchases for his drops? What is the man to woman ratio? Checks and balances. If anybody finds that on the internet, please drop it in the chat or drop it in the comments below if somebody digs out that homework. Because there's an angle here that I think is very interesting. And what I think it is it's the vicarious nature of human beings. I've never heard this angle before on the internet. This is all me. I'm just thinking about this shit and I could be crazy. Think about the vicarious nature of human beings. I have people that I know have vicariously lived through me. They'll ask me certain questions or they'll be invested in certain things that I do, or I can see it. And we all do it, right? Even social media loans to it. Social media is smart enough. The people that's behind the Facebooks and the MySpaces and the Twitters and the Instagrams. And I brought up MySpace because remember, it was the friend thing and putting them in order. And then Twitter comes and it's the follow, like follow me, right? the vicarious nature, when you get to follow these celebrities, you get to try to live out some of their life, get closer to them. Like, oh, look at the cars. Like people that have lavish lifestyles on Instagram get more follows. Think about it. Showing all this money. I'm flying private jets and I'm with all these women. I'm in the club popping bottles and I got all these expensive clothes on. And those people get follows because of their lifestyle. Because people vicariously live through other people because they haven't obtained those things, or they're not close to those things, or this is their way that they can get as close to experiencing those things as possible, right? Stay with me on the vicarious thing. It's even for relationships. Even for relationships. If you hear that Drake possibly took down Rihanna, and there's millions and millions of men lusting and drooling over Rihanna, right? Even women, because they say the same concept of women, that women want what other women want. You ever hear that old saying? You take a bar setting. You put this old guy, this old crumbly, messed up looking guy at one side of the bar, right? And there's 15, 20 women around him. Like he looks like some Hugh Hefner type of guy, whatever. Like all these Playboy bunnies around him and whatnot, beautiful women surrounding him. Then you got this handsome guy at the other side of the bar, right? Young, handsome guy, look like he got his stuff together, but he's sitting by himself. A woman walks into the bar. They say her curiosity goes left more than it goes right, regardless of where she ends up going. I know there's going to be women in the chat or people that's going to say, I'm going right. I ain't following all the women, but I'm telling you, the average woman is going to still be whether she goes or not, very curious about that. Very, very curious about that. Because you see the attraction around something and you say, maybe I should have some of that. Or maybe that's where it is, it's popping. Maybe that's where I need to see more than this other thing, because that's got to be a reason why nobody wants that. The vicarious nature as well carries into that. Okay. So if Drake is possibly taking down Rihanna, and people are looking at Rihanna as one of the top women in the industry, right? You know how many women would love to be behind Rihanna? Would love to be behind her. Would love to say things like, yo, I've been with the same guy that Rihanna was with. I feel like a lot of these guys do that in the industry. That's why they got some of these women in common in the industry. They feel like it's cool. Like, yo, you took her down, so did I. And you a megastar, but so did I. Right? Just think about that concept. And Drake, if the demographics, if somebody finds the demographics of man to woman for his ticket sales, because I see these shows. The shows look like they're all women, and his album sales, I'm curious about it. Because then you get to say, like, yo, all these women want is what other women want. And if everybody in the industry hates Drake because he's attacking their women, what if this motherfucker is doing it because he's like, that's how I became number one? Just being a ladies' man, period. Because the women are the one that's buying albums. They say that all the fucking time. The women are the ones that's buying albums. Come to my shows. They see how they also think I'm accessible. That's another point within itself. I had women even tell me that. I had women that y'all might even know tell me that. And I said, like, I wouldn't want, hey, I wouldn't want other women to know that I was with you, because if they did, they would think that you're more accessible, and then they would try to get at you. I literally had somebody tell me that. Right? Somebody that y'all might know. And it makes me think about it, like, when a preferable guy is looked at as accessible, more women will flock, because they're like, yo, maybe I have a chance. I see that he took down that girl. I don't know. We don't know her from a hole in the wall. She's just some random chick on IG, and Drake slid in her DMs, or this person over here, right? And they all flocking to these shows trying to get chose. Some of them really, really trying to get that front row ticket or seat to get chose. But he perpetuates it. He perpetuates it. So people publicly knowing that, yeah, I'm over here with Ja Morant's ex and Rick Ross's ex and this model, Instagram model, or trying to talk rapping about Rihanna and all that. And then you look at his shows and it's flooded with women. It's actually all a part of his fucking success. So if he's getting in all these dramas in the industry and 40%, 50% of it is over women, that motherfucker is using it to his advantage. Look at this. LL Cool Trick. Ladies love Cool Trick. Yo, it could be tactical. Look at y'all. It's marketing, grimy marketing, where I'm affecting people around me, but it's made me one of the biggest. It's part of, if women buy more records, Drake albums than than men, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Then why all these women? Like, it's not just his music, it's not just his image. There's all these details that his public persona and the situations and the affairs that you hear that draws women in more. They're going to the left side of the bar. Meanwhile, Kendrick is over here taking 2 months to rap. LA, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I guess the last thing that really kind of pushes me towards is the whole exposing culture. And y'all see that in the title too. That shit kills me. It burns my skin. We have this new exposing culture where everybody feels the need to put their personal shit online. They personal shit. I see it inside battle rap, where I seen people like have like fallouts, and then people start talking about like, yeah, we did this and we did that. And it's just like, you put your sexual business, your bedroom business in interviews, right? And I get it. Some of y'all be trying to get views or possibly even money from it or get popping from it. It's a whole nother wave. And I hate to just blame the women. I hate to just blame the women, because niggas is fucking hoes too, ladies. Don't think that I'm attacking y'all. But it's a new fucking era as far as women's hustle, a woman's hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole sex sells, and the whole sex worker industry now, whether it's the OnlyFans thing, whether it's getting with somebody and that's popular, and then you get popularity from them, and then it's all a come up now. And these women are seeing people become successful from it. They're seeing people make millions of dollars from it. You know, I see even intelligent women. Like, I was watching the academics interview with what's her name? Is it Destiny or whatever? Freddie Gibbs' ex-girlfriend. I don't know if he has a child by her too, but Freddie Gibbs' ex, right? So Freddie Gibbs and his ex has a fallout, whatever the case may be. They stopped talking. And of course, academics and Freddie Gibbs, they've had their thing forever. They've been beefing forever, right? Going at each other, doing interviews about each other, trying to downplay each other's careers, trying to get each other out of here, all that type of shit, right? So what does academics do? Something petty. And he goes interviews Freddie Gibbs' ex-girlfriend as soon as they have a fallout. And these are people that come forward and say, yeah, he did this in the bedroom, this freaky stuff, or this suspect stuff, or whatever the case may be. And I listened to that interview. And the thing that caught me about that, and we're sticking with the exposing culture now, y'all. The thing that caught me about that is, as I'm listening to the interview, this girl comes across very, very intelligent. She comes across like she has a lot of substance. She comes across like she's far from shallow. Like, when I've listened to like the Amber Roses of the world, like do interviews, or sometimes like even earlier Kim Kardashian, when she had less media training and whatnot, it just came across as airheads to me. Like, when I listened to them, you know what I mean? Just beautiful women got run around the industry, and they just become what they become, right? And I'm not hating on their success. Some of them made some good moves, or maybe even done some things that was dope for their fans or whatever. Shout out to them. But this girl right here, you know, she breaks down her story of when she's in the military and she's going to school. She got pregnant in the military, and then she leaves the military to be a mother. And then it's actually her ex-husband or her ex-man that kind of got her turned on to like being a sex worker. Like, all right, well, you're home, you're beautiful, you're sexy. You know, let's just start taking pictures and we'll post them up and try to, you know, start a little hustle. So he hustled his wife. He kind of turned her on to that, right? But you know, that's where she gravitated towards. She never made it back towards, I guess, all these other career paths that her intelligence could have taken her on, or that she was already on before, right? She turned into that world. And I'm not knocking people that are in that world. People take care of themselves and make money in that world too. You know, sex is one of the biggest industries. You look at the porn industry, for example. It's one of the biggest industries, and there's a lot of money to be made over there. So do your fucking thing, right? But to be in that interview with and we know why she's there, because it's, you know, it's ops girlfriend or ex. And to hear her get into all of these details about, you know, Freddie Gibbs and their personal life, that's what kills me about this exposing culture. And it's not going to slow down. Like, you could offer me $1 million deal to go be in the industry, and I turn it down. Like, being in that world where you got to deal with these type of people and even try to like befriend or like, let's say, start relationships with those type of people, this is what you're prone to. You're prone to your bedroom life and your personal life, and this time that you got jumped by 20 people, the details about that and all this type of shit from the person that's your ride or die, sitting down doing interviews about it, telling the world about it. And I don't know if y'all are like me, but it makes me sick to my stomach. And not even just in the industry, even in smaller, and like even when I see it in battle rap, like she cut on the camera and said, "What?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I still am old school. I still got this philosophy of like, and I know it's a double standard, and I know I'm wrong for what I'm about to say, ladies, but I still got this whole thing of like, men will be men, and they're conquerors and they're out in the world. You know what I'm saying? Doing what they do, and women are the more wholesome. That's I guess like an old school concept of a family that I grew up in or grew up seeing. Like, that was more so like the woman was the more wholesome and the man was the more conqueror out, whatever. And we spoke about how things have changed over the years and evolved over the years. You got the sexy reds of the world now. You know what I'm saying? The niggas is the women now, and the women is the niggas now. It is what it is. But the exposed culture, to see these women constantly now getting on these podcasts and getting in these interviews and talking about their past relationships for a bag or for a look or for views. I just come from somewhere where that makes me sick to my stomach. And it's a whole pocket of relationships now and damn near expectations. Like, you got to know, like, if you deal with these type of people that are in the industry, all your shit is suspect to coming out. And when I say your personal shit, we're not just talking about, your sex life, or your family shit could come out. I got a mentally challenged brother over here that I don't tell the world about because I don't want that pressure coming to my family of people joking on him, whatever. And you get in the interview and tell academics like, yeah, and his mentally, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how much y'all jump into exposed culture now. It's just a wave that is just here for social media and for come ups. There's no getting rid of it. There's no fighting it. Only thing you could do is do your best to not be around it or to avoid it. And some of that just comes down to who you deal with. And ladies, I'll stick up for y'all. Niggas is doing it too. Men is getting on some of these cameras and they talking about, my ex, I'm gonna expose this or talk about this right now. I just don't know whatever happened to like your relationships being private. We could fall out, we could hate each other's guts, but to do interview, like, motherfuckers would get on Fox 5 and do interviews about, why their relationship didn't work. A private relationship. It's like Jay-Z and Beyonce was like one of the last stars that I saw try to keep their shit as private as possible. They really try to convince us like they wasn't together, yeah, all that type of shit. Right. And to a degree, they still kind of move with privacy. Like, they're gonna get on stage together and pull each other down and be in each other's videos and express certain things, obviously. But I would be fucking astonished if I ever saw a Jay-Z or a Beyonce interview exposing the other person. It's just a new day, man, and I'm not fit for it. The industry would never be for me, man. It would never be for me. But look at this. Amber Rose and Kim K started that shit. They got big off of it, and they're not they may not be the first, but they're amongst the most visible. You know what I'm saying? What is Amber Rose have, a slut walk or something like that? And I know she tried to give it a definition that's a little bit contrary, but our fucking parents, hide your kids, hide your wife. You know what I'm saying? Watch our kids, man, especially our daughters of the world, man, because it's scary out there. But all right. I wanted to hang out for a little bit, go through multiple topics, do a longer stream, vent about some stuff. Stephen A, man, stop that shit. Kendrick, bring your ass outside. It's time. Somebody drop the demographics, please, of Drake's album sales and ticket sales at his shows, Man versus Woman. Um, his fucking scandals and his bullshit towards some of his peers in the industry might actually be one of the top ingredients to his success. And expose culture, please keep that shit far from me, man. If you want to expose me for anything at all, man, I want to know, because I don't really got no skeletons in my closet, of course, but damn, I don't want to be with no fucking person, have any type of relationship, and you want to do some interview talking about me personally. Expose culture. Y'all keep that shit, man. World is changing, man. Stay my ass in the fucking house.